Hello everyone and welcome back to another video for chat application course. In this video I'm going to add basic setup for conversation and friends, and of course these toggleable buttons for extending layouts for conversations or friends. So let's start with our app. Here I'm going to add another component here to simply show conversation and friends list in case user is logged in. So let's create a new component here. I'm going to call this app logged, something like this, and of course I'm going to import this here. And I will use this condition here. Looks great. Let's check. Amazing. Now here in Applogged I'm going to add another component, and actually two components which I'm going to use. One of them for conversations and another one is simply for friends. So let's create directories here. Let's call this views, and let's create a new directory, actually friends and conversations. Of course I'm going to create a base component for conversation and friends. App friends. Great. Now let's import them. App it's not recognize it, so let's actually add this manually. App friends. The reason is this is not actually recognizing and it's not doing the autocomplete is because application is currently indexing and I didn't notice. So let's import them here. App conversations. Great. Now that indexing is over, if I remove these lines and try to type component name here again, as you can see it's showing me the current import for component, and it will simply import them into component. Great. Conversations and friends. Let's keep this simple for now. Let's reload. Great. I've got conversations and friends. So now let's start with adding a basic layout for these components. I'm going to start with adding a vehicle for app conversations. Let's keep this for now 12. We need to get default UI from states, so we simply use them to extend conversations and friends. So let's use this here. We actually need to add computed map state, and I'm going to get default UI. State app UI and default UI. Let's check UI and default UI. Alright, that's everything we want, and we also need to import map state from Vuex. And I'm going to copy this line and paste this here, and also this one. And now if we simply use default UI in our page, we should get 0. Let's check our states. Vuex, load the state, and here actually I've got 0. Great. So now I'm going to simply apply a condition here to load or extend our columns based on default UI status. So let's bind this and let's check it. In case default UI is 2, we're going to return 12, and in case default UI is 0, we're going to return 6 or null. We're also going to check in case default UI is 2 or 0. We're going to show this column. I'm going to copy this. Let's actually copy everything here and paste, and I'm going to change this to, I guess this should be 1, this should be also 1, because I was actually using 1 for conversation and friends for 2, so everything should work. Great, I've got both of them. Since 0 is mean I want to get both layouts in my application. Great. Now in app toolbar, we need to add this toggleable buttons. So here after view menu, I'm going to use vbt and toggle from Vuetify. The model default UI, which we're going to get this from Vuex, dance and group, and of course we're going to check if user is logged in to show this toggleable buttons. Btn disabled. In case default UI is 0, we're going to call change UI method and we're going to pass 0, and I'm going to show conversation and friends as a text for this button, and let's duplicate. We're going to change this to 1, and we're going to change this to 2. So for conversations, we're going to set this to 1, and for friends, we're going to set this to 2. So we need to add default UI default UI, state, state, app, UI, and default UI. We need to also add this method, so I've already imported up toolbar methods. Let's copy this, and here let's paste. We're going to get a UI, and we're going to use dispatch to simply apply the UI change. Actually, dispatch set UI. We also need to update our mutations and actions since we keep them empty from last video. So here let's start with this one. We're going to commit set UI, and we're going to pass UI, and here we're going to update default UI value. We're going to get this value from UI, or in this case payload. Let me check if everything looks fine. Let's actually give it a try. Let's reload. So I've got conversation on friends. Now I've got conversations. Now I've got friends. And now it's conversation on friends. Everything looks great and everything is working. And in next video we will start to adding basic setup for conversation, and of course we will start to develop backend for conversations, which in this case is developing API. And this should be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and that's it.